Hey guys, Night Horror here. So just a quick update on the Endless Archive. There's some feedback that's been given by some pretty big people in the community and intelligent ones, and I wanted to kind of talk about it. I've been asked, what do I think of the Endless Archive? Is it any good? The overall consensus is that it's really good and it's really fun. I will say for me personally, this is not my preferred play style. I play MMOs for group content where there's a lot of communication, everybody's working together, doing different things, and there's a lot of coordination. So this is not the kind of content that's built for me. I still enjoyed it. I didn't think it was bad at all. People are saying it's really well done. Again, like it's hard for me to give my personal opinion because I'm not the demographic. This is not my market. This is not my thing. Like I'm interested, but I'm not in love. This is not the thing. If they came out with a new kind of dungeon or I'm sorry, trial thing or, mass multiplayer kind of event, I would be the person to talk to, but I am not. So let's just go ahead and talk about this a little bit. I just want to highlight this. This is from Skinny Cheeks. You can find him here on YouTube. And he's saying that the Endless Archive progression is just too slow, and he's not the only one. So just so those who maybe don't know, Skinny Cheeks really likes the Endless Archive. He's really enjoying it. He's made comments towards that. He really likes it. He thinks this concept is really good, but after a few runs, he's noticing what many others have noted, and that the runs take too long. So each run is lasting, he's saying for him, 3 to 5 hours now. Now, just a reminder, or for those who don't know, this is supposed to be, the idea is that it's not about DPS, it's about staying alive. So in theory, Skinny Cheeks 3 to 5 hours might be a bit quicker because he has higher DPS than the average person. But in theory, if you're building for survivability, you should be able to get just as far as him, if not further. So maybe that's exaggerating because I'm sure you could build for survivability as well. So yeah, 3 to 5 hours. And I would say that is probably a full play session for even a fairly hardcore gamer. Yeah, and I would also note, I think you have 5 minutes AFK. So you've got to sit down for 3 to 5 hours if you want to go through a full run. And remember, if you leave, everything just resets, right? That's the whole idea of this, roguelike game. And so he's saying here that, he feels like the progression is pretty good. Sounds like he's suggesting 3 stages total instead of 4 to just cut out a whole stage. Instead of having 3 kind of trash setups or trash stages and then a boss, and that being one cycle. This cycle within a cycle within a cycle is needlessly confusing, and they should have figured out a better way to express it. Anyways, I guess the arcs are the bigger ones. So he's saying again that everything feels fine. It looks like the resistances scale up, and that's how they're slowing down each run and making it harder. It's just by scaling up the resistances. So that's kind of crazy. We're going to see some crazy PvP style, super tanky, super high penetration builds, I guess, come up. But yeah, that's what he's saying. And then when we look down here, we're going to get some other people saying, yeah, they kind of agree. Some people are, there's a few trolls down here as well. 3 to 5 hours, way too long for each session. I think there's a couple people that were like, oh, the endless dungeon is too long for some people or something. I think the problem is having to sit down for hours and hours and play through. One of the developers said that they made it pretty far, really far. I don't know. And I think they said, I heard 9, I want to say Arc 9 thrown out. And then it sounded like they had done more. They were literally on a tank. I don't know how long this stuff takes to go through that many things literally on a tank. This is the concern that I had, that I'm just not down for that. I'm not here to play for 9 hours sitting at it with not more than a 5-minute break. I don't know. That's just crazy. Even if it's 10 or 15, I don't know. You gotta go outside. Yeah. So here's Lucht chiming in. Lucht, for those who maybe don't know, he does a lot of solo dungeon runs with dungeon trifectas and stuff like that. So some pretty crazy stuff. And he's just saying, yeah, to add to this, Marauders are severely overtuned in later arcs. So Marauders are these ads that pop in, I believe, on trash packs. if I'm recalling correctly, and then you have to kill them, and they have extra mechanics and whatever. He's saying they feel a little bit too hard. So like when the Marauder drops in, it's kind of like a little too much of an oh shit moment, I guess. Yeah, and he's saying I just need my tank to run a full infinite magma shell build. For those who don't know, this is a DK ability magma shell. And basically, it lets you, it prevents you from taking more than like a small percentage of your health with any given hit. And it's kind of like a can't die button. So you can, this is used, kind of for cheese in certain situations where you have a DK tank and they're just permanently in magma shell so that they can't die. So that's what he's talking about here. Yeah. And then, getting 80% of your health chunked down for each light attack is pretty rough. He's saying here that he thinks the biggest problem isn't that the progression takes too long. It's that the fun part takes 3 to 5 hours in. I think that's probably, again, we need to assume that this is perhaps a bit exaggerated for someone like Lucht, who, has a high skill and has done stuff like this for a very long time. So he knows how to play very well. But even if it's like a couple of hours in, right, before it starts getting really fun, that's a lot. And then the problem is, if you die, I guess it says it here, you're essentially 2 wipes away. You've been going for 4 hours, then you die twice. Like that's going to be, an issue for you. I don't think this is entirely surprising. I think that, some of the people that I've already talked to that have tried it and even just like watching, it's like, yeah, I want to be able to start several arcs in. Lucht actually suggests some ideas down here for starting a few runs in. Like if you've made it to run 7, then maybe you can start at, arc 5. For example. So I think something like that's a good idea and unsurprising. I don't know. Some of us are afraid that they're going to double down and be like, no, it's good. And then in, 2 patches, then they're going to change it and actually implement a version where you can be saved or start at later arcs. But that seems to be the main issue right now. But overall, I think that this is, people have asked me what I think about the Endless Archive, and I'm a little bit neutral on it. I think what I mean by that is I'm neutral as far as like how much enjoyment I think I'm going to get out of it. Like I think it'll be interesting. I think it'll be very fun. But like this is not the kind of content that I'm like super into. I don't want to sit down and play by myself for that many hours. That's just not my thing. Even with like one other person, kind of doing the same repetitive thing over and over again. I think that this is just not quite the style of content for me. And I think that's all there is to it. When I play an MMO, what I'm looking for, I really like the group content, everybody working together as a team, having a lot of communication, working together, helping each other out, that kind of stuff. That's why I play MMOs. That's like my main draw. If I wanted to sit down and just like play a game and just go at it for like, 4 to 8 hours or whatever it is, I think if I was looking for this kind of play experience, I would probably go play a different style of game to get this kind of same play experience. But that's just me. So, don't let that put you off of the game. I think that this is great. And that, everybody who's tried it so far, these guys that are really into this type of content have been very positive.